Hola, amigos, and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding live stream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw, but you may know me as @Shashaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid, also known as @DavidKPiano.
Together, we are coding compadres, animation amigos, boolean buddies, and mates of state, stately mates. We do enough state machine stuff that we deserve a new title there.
Had to add that one.
Yes.
Yep. And so we are going to be working on an animation from scratch live using HTML, CSS, and only JavaScript to help us out, but then we're going to remove it. You're going to see what we mean in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll have a little bit of JS in there. But this show is made possible by your support. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers, or hit the like and subscribe buttons around the video. Pledge with or subscribe with Twitch Prime, or whatever you're able to do helps. And additional links are available below.
Yeah, and we're happy to answer any questions you may have. So please reach out in the chat or the comments or anywhere.
Yes, and if you're watching this later on YouTube and are short on time, you can skip ahead to the animation summary using the timestamp link down below labeled Keyflections. So check that out if you like, or join us along for the ride, like those of you watching live. Thanks so much for being here. So yeah, what's happening today, David?
So, have you heard about? You know what? I'm going to post something in the chat.
Is this going to be some obscure news story?
Have you heard about Tesla's latest offering?
I think I've seen an article or two.
Yeah, article, lots of tweets. Basically, Tesla came out with the CyberTruck, and this CyberTruck looks like it hasn't really rendered fully. Do you know what I mean?
It's so. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar, here's a 3D model of it, and know that it's not a low poly render of it. This is what the truck is actually like.
Yeah, and so this 3D render was made with Blender, which is like 3D tooling specifically designed to make 3D models such as this.
Yes. This is a great tweet David just shared in the chat. Believe it or not, but this car is made entirely out of divs, which is terribly unsemantic, but...
Yeah, so there was a tweet by Kelly Vaughn, and she said she's a developer over at, I think, Taproom Agency, Shopify, something like that. Yeah. And she said, someone please recreate this on CodePen. And so I was nerd sniped, and I was like, you know what? I will. And if you don't know what nerd sniping is, it's basically when you post something like this, and it's like, okay, now I just have to do it.
And we are not alone, or you are not alone in this. There've been quite a few folks that have gotten the CyberTruck bug on CodePen.
Yeah, there's actually.
I thought we had created a collection. Yeah, okay, here it is.
There was one by Lynn Fisher, who, if you don't remember, Lynn Fisher made an amazing. She makes those amazing responsive web pages where it's like she takes responsive to the max, literally.
Yes. And
so one of her CodePens, she made this truck in a single div. Which is insane, and I posted that over in the chat, and you're showing it right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is awesome, but I started, before her a little bit, but I sort of took a different approach. I was like, this is mostly polygons, but I sort of, and all of these are pretty flats looking.
Yeah, my favorite is got to be Dirk's, showing that in the right now.
yeah,
It's also single div, believe it or not.
Oh, wow. Lynn's looks a little bit more detailed.
Slightly, yeah.
So I was like, what if I use more than one div? What could we do with
Oh,
more
hey.
than one div?
So look at that. Yeah, using several divs here.
Yes.
Several divs.
And it's not responsive, so don't even try. It's also a work in progress.
Yes. So how much of your weekend was consumed with cybertrucking?
The entire thing. No, just a few hours, like Saturday, Sunday, all that fun stuff. But yeah, like when I see a challenge, I just have to take it. However, the problem is it's not really animated or finished. And
Yeah. You've got a great amount of detail here, and there's this cool little slider that we'll show in a moment how that works. But yeah, so you've got a lot of divs here. Basically, each side or each face of the truck is a div. And then additional divs where additional details are needed.
right.
So yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. And there's still a lot more to go, but we have the basics up there. I need to get the color correct, and I could use that 3D blender thing to really help out. I'm using CSS variables all over the place here, and so the JavaScript is to help just have me rotate and everything. And something cool you might notice is while you're working on the CodePen, it saves that value to local storage, so it'll feel like you don't have to keep rotating it back to the place that you want to go.
Yeah, that's rad. I like that that addition. That's really cool. So yeah, basically, whenever you update this input, this little slider here, it's just calling this setRZ function, which is applying that CSS variable to the body and storing it on local storage. So that's very cool. Right. So
how's this work?
yeah. Where do we begin here?
Well, so we're no stranger to these 3D animations. We did turnable tables in season 1, and we also did something else 3D. I forget what. We definitely did. We did a few 3D things in season 2. So if you remember turnable tables, it works by just nesting elements, having this 3D transform on all of them, and correctly placing the transform origins on them.
Gosh, now, I forgot how good this one looked. That turned out so well.
Yeah, and I didn't quite finish the turntable, like the actual inner parts of it, but you could tell.
Yeah, there's the video for it if you want to watch how we did that, and in there we break down the 3D CSS transforms a lot better. Whereas here we're just kind of diving right in with a lot of this setup.
Yeah, because otherwise this would have taken many hours.
Yeah,
but the basic concept is the same for everything here, where we're just 3D transforming all of these elements on the base, and you sort of have to think about this like origami. Have you ever played around with origami?
I dabbled in my college years, but
all right. So, for example, the windshield, that's like one div over there, but we also have the front grille folding. You could think that folding from the windshield, and then the back folding as well. And so all of those elements are nested together. And so it creates this sort of folded structure that represents both the grille, the front, the windshield, the back, and the bed and the trunk.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the debug view here so we can kind of inspect it a little bit.
Oh boy, have fun.
All right, so the whole container here is rotated in that 3D space to give as like the base plane that everything is coming out of.
Right. Yeah.
And then so the side, let's look at that transform. Yeah, so it's rotated Y, and then rotated Z. Yeah. Oh geez. Yeah. Okay, and then there's the front. Wheels.
So a lot of stuff going on in here.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But that's cool. That's yeah, complex beast. But let's see about animating it, and we'll break down some additional
while I
parts
work on some of the things. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, first, let's get these wheels moving. Let's make it like it's being driven here. So let me find the actual wheels. Where are they? Good enough wheel. All right, I found the wheels. They're on the bottom of the truck, in case you were wondering.
Yeah, and it might not be the most semantic thing, by the way, but I tried, and that's all that matters.
Okay, it looks like you already have. Okay, you've already got the wheels spinning in there, so that's cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, transform, rotate Y. Okay, and that's giving them the actual 3D rotation that's needed, and then rotate Z is rotating them around the center to give them that effect. Very nice. Oh man, I'm curious if my computer is going to be able to handle all of this.
Yeah, maybe not. And so I'm always curious, like, why that happens. Maybe it's something where we have to I don't know, just put it on a layer or something. So like we'll change transform or something like that.
Well, so everything's already 3D transformed, so it should be shuffled off to the GPU. Right now, the issue is mostly I'm streaming and recording and doing all of that. So my computer freaks out a little bit. But yeah. All right. So yeah, we've got those going.
Yeah.
So if we wanted it to bounce a little bit, like we're driving across a plane. So let's see. Let's go back to debug view here. So we've got the front, the side. Okay, and then the wheels on the bottom. All right. So
also, I am adding some windows to this too. So
nice. Let's do animation. What's that called?
Let's kill the wheel animation so that we
can conserve
resources. I think that's causing a lot of even my computers like, hey, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, I feel like this final animation is probably gonna.
At least it's realistic, This truck takes a lot of energy to move, so
it does.
Yeah. So all right.
There we go. Killed the wheel animation. And what we can probably do is add additional like input toggles for activating the animations.
Right. Yeah. Oh, and also a lot of this is also just like you could imagine the process of shaping these metal pieces to attach together and put on the car. For that, I used ClipPath. Just like, I don't know if it was it the last episode? We used a lot of ClipPath, or there's
it was a few episodes back, yeah.
Lots of ClipPath, Polygon, and that's really, really useful. So even doing something like this will just quickly make you a master, sort of.
Yeah, did you use...
ClipPath, I definitely messed up a few times, but yeah.
Yeah, it was Chocolate Chomp that we did that on. That was a delicious episode. Yeah, that's worth checking out if you haven't. Shared that link in there. So yeah, did you use Clippy for that, or did you just do it by hand?
I just did it by hand. In fact, it was sort of a process because I had to measure it out from the actual Tesla website and just convert all those to pixel values, and that's why I'm using pixel values and not really not really doing anything crazy. So yeah.
That's okay. So I'm doing that. Rotate.
So let's see. Ooh, I saw some tires moving.
Yeah.
By the way, don't mind the disappearing things. Just clipping the. Just adding some clipping for the.
Rotate 3D. Agree. And that'll make all this a little easier. Yeah, I'm just adding in a little bit of movement to kind of the, what is it, the drivetrain, the suspension for the wheels.
You're from Texas. You know your trucks. I don't.
I own a truck. I do not know trucks. But yeah, it's.
What? Yes, you do. Well, you know how they move better than me, at least.
So let's see. We got rotate X in there. It's 4. Oh, did I break something?
You probably did. Oh, shoot.
It doesn't seem like it's animating here. Is my rotate 3D syntax wrong? Probably.
Yeah. By the way, something I really like to do is add borders with colors to like border top, border left, just so when you're doing 3D creations with CSS, you really get disoriented. You don't know which way is up, especially when things are rotated multiple times over all over the place. It could be pretty disorienting, so that's why I sometimes do that.
For sure. Oh, rotate 3D syntax is interesting. Okay.
What happened?
The rotate 3D syntax is very different.
Yeah, I didn't even bother with that.
Yeah, I'll probably break it down into multiple different ones here. But we'll find out if this works a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit bumpy. Let's repeat that 4 times. Yeah, that's kind of nice.
And so, by the way, all this done by hand. I didn't use any 3D tools to help me. Although it probably would have been nice, but yep.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's do that. It's like 40%. It's like 60%.
That's cool. That has some nice suspension.
Yeah, it's kind of driving across the plane.
Yeah,
Let's add those wheels in there. Yeah, that looks very natural.
Yeah, and then you could add suspension to the entire car unless it's like perfect suspension. Whoa, that's really cool.
It looks very nice for just a few lines there.
Wow.
In the chat, I only wear Lacoste asks, are you going to make the window smash animation?
Yes. We are definitely going to do that.
It's necessary. Yeah.
We definitely need. Yes. Definitely.
And then Jeffrey in the chat says, not related to the stream, but thanks for X State, David.
Oh, you're welcome. It's free for a limited time. Black Friday deal. I'm kidding. It's
a good deal.
Free.
It's a good deal at any price. All right. I'm gonna start adding in I'm gonna add in a toggle for animation so that can be turned on and off, and that'll save us a little bit.
Sounds good. So I can get rid of this. Whoa.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Okay. I trust you.
You probably shouldn't, but here we go. Ads in the chat. Hey, I wanted to tell you I'm making it on local space. What are you making there? Ads.
Wait, what?
Ads in the chat says making something on local space. I'm not sure.
What's
what
local space?
I don't know. I'm curious to find out.
Oh, probably the truck.
Maybe. local space?
We will find out. It will be a mystery.
Yeah, so let's see what that is. Let's divide. Oh, making 3D CyberTruck. In the chat, hey David, what's your thoughts on Robot, the functional library for creating finite state machines? I think we talked about that a while back.
Yeah. Interesting thing about Robot, it was created by, I think Matthew, forget his last name, Matthew Layer, something like that. It was created as I guess a smaller functional, quote unquote, functional alternative to Xseed, which is perfectly fine. Honestly, I don't mind. In fact, I'm excited when other people make similar things, because it shows that these ideas are gaining more adoption, which is awesome, and that's absolutely my goal. So, I think Robot's really cool, and I would love to see more exploration in that space. So, keep at it. It's always a great thing when other people are, exploring.
Yeah.
Hope that answers your question. Okay, cool. So that's the wheel well. Yeah, I've done a bunch of 3D animations.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing
like
that.
in my CodePen tenure. I think this has to be. I was looking through my CodePen the other day. One of them that I did was a Paris, and that also made your CPU just go berserk, because it I did the Eiffel Tower, and that was pretty big. So, yeah.
The Eiffel Tower.
Yep, Eiffel Tower, and I'll try to find that, but wheel. Just trying. All right, so linear gradient. Aha, there we go. There's that dang linear gradient. So this is why I love Sass, because I could just use color functions like darken to. Whoa, what happened?
Don't worry about it. I'm just adjusting the JavaScript so it's breaking things.
Oh, okay, great. Let's see, spoke. So the spokes, man, the wheels are the sort of the tough part. Yeah, maybe I'll focus on that later. But we also have that bottom bumper. Yeah, there's like just this black layer that goes throughout the entire car. So that's why on here debug mode is always a good thing. But I don't think there is debug mode for collab mode. Is there?
Debug mode for collab mode?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you just open up debug mode in a new tab.
I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm doing over here, so I can get a kind of static view of it to debug.
Because otherwise it's stuck in an iframe, which is fine, but also slightly annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, debug mode is a wonderful tool for CodePen Pro users. Recommend you upgrade for that at least.
You almost sound like you work for CodePen.
Somebody's gotta sell it there.
This is true. Is there such a thing as a side bumper? I'm just going to call this bumper because, I mean, I don't know about you, but the scrolling's a little bit weird here. Like in the HTML, I'm going to reload my page.
Yeah, it's just a little laggy at the moment. All right. So let me do. It's just at the very top. Oh, good gravy. Animation.
Damon G Place says, didn't mean to catch you guys. Well, awesome that you caught us. So we are making the Cybertruck. And it will be as awesome as you will expect, or it will be a complete disaster, like you saw in the, but that's why people come to watch these things, because it's like it's either going to be really good or really bad. And there was definitely a whole lot of mixed reviews when it actually did come out, which was really funny to see, because it felt like people were watching to see, is Tesla going to do something that, we're going to make fun of regardless, but now they're literally saying, please make fun of us for this truck.
Well, so yeah, the conspiracy theories out there, or probably real theories, that it's used to control the news cycle. Elon's currently undergoing a defamation lawsuit. So I encourage you to read up on that, because it definitely seems strategic here.
That would make a lot of sense. Very, very tricky.
Value is not defined. Set animation. Animation toggle.
Very tricky,
value.
Elon.
Mm-hmm. Console.log. Animation toggle.
Sometimes the issue with these animations is you misplace your divs. You don't know where they went because they're hiding behind some 3D sort of thing.
Checked. Is that right?
Dot side dot bumper. So that should be in there. Oh, bumper. Wow.
So refresh.
Cool. There's my bumper.
Trying to get this animation toggle working here. Value is not defined. What?
What's going on?
Nothing. It's state. It's on. That's what it needs to be. Checked. Okay, cool. Animation toggle should be working now. Should
Also, this is the
JM in the chat says, still think y'all need to check out GSAP. We're very aware of GSAP. I'm a fan. David's not.
It's not that I'm not a fan. It's that their API is a bit dated, and they have been taking steps to improve it. Plus, their API makes a lot of assumptions about how animations are, and that means that, all right, just as a thought experiment, I bet you, looking at just a bunch of animations on the web, if someone asked you, is this a GSAP animation, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be able to tell. Yeah, that feels like a GSAP animation. So,
I don't know. It's versatile enough, and just the amount of stuff that it does is really really helpful as especially an SVG animation tool. I personally am a fan of it. I don't use it as much nowadays because I'm working at CodePen, and I don't want to just include GSAP for one thing. If I were building a bunch of animations from scratch for a brand new thing, then bringing GSAP in towards the start would be a little more justifiable. But right now, there's just not any animation that really needs it, really calls for it.
Yeah.
False.
I think it's a really cool animation thing. I just never found the need for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, those default eases, I think, is probably what you're referring to most.
Yes, and people don't change it, and then people use GSAP for things like hover. It's like, congrats, you made a cool hover animation, but you included a 100 kilobyte library in order to do that.
Yeah.
And there's, I am all about learning the fundamentals first. So learning CSS animations, which is what we teach a lot on this show. But, I would definitely like to explore it. So that would be a cool idea. especially they just came out with a new version. So yeah. Oh yeah, the thing too is it is not free for commercial use, and a lot of their plugins aren't free either.
It is free for commercial use. Certain
yeah.
there are certain additions to it that are not free. Let me see. I forget what the exact licensing for it is, but it is like I used it all the time back at my agency job. Licensing option. Green Sock standard no charge license is very permissive. It even covers most commercial uses.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Yeah, let's see. Plain English summary. Commercial or non-commercial apps, as long as users are not charged a fee to use your product. So like if you used it in a game that you charge people for, it would need the additional licensing. If you are just including it in like a corporate website, it's not a problem. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay, that's fair, I suppose.
I'm all about people making money in the web business.
Of course, yes. As am I.
Let's see. Is this car bulletproof too? Asked in the chat. No.
Yes. Not. No? All right, no, it's not.
That's certainly not going to be ball bearing proof.
Nope. All right, so yeah, the side panel, it's the top left, right, bottom is not what you might think. So that's like one of those gotchas. So that's why, like I said, it could be very disorienting.
Yeah. Yeah, I always get a little mixed up after like one or two rotations of something. All right, so the animation checkbox is now working. So real quick, how I did that, because I wasn't explaining as I went. So whenever that value is changed, we are setting a CSS variable called playstate. We're toggling that from running to paused. And then in the CSS, I have important override happening at the very top for animation playstate, so that this toggles the animation on and off no matter where the animation is declared. This way I don't have to just redeclare that same bit over and over. So yeah, and then it saves that value to local state as well, or local storage. And local storage, it stores strings. It does not store like actual values like an object or a Boolean value. So I have to check if it's true, the string true for that. Yeah, fun fact there. So yeah, anyway, we can get on to some more animations. How about we well, let's see, what are you currently tackling?
I'm just tackling some of the structural things, like some of the sides, and just fun things like that, and also probably some of the lighting as well. So
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So how?
And so, do we want to make this like rotate all the way? I'm just trying to think about how like this overall animation should be.
Sorry, say that again.
Do we want to just show it? Yeah, I think we should just show it driving, and that way the color animations won't be too advanced, because when things rotate, their colors don't stay the same, which is, coming from a 2D world, it's a bit of a shocker.
Yeah, that's probably the most difficult part about CSS 3D is lighting. You want realistic lighting most of the time when you're doing 3D, and that can be really difficult to do with just CSS. You've really got to factor in some things. Make some adjustments here. Where are you working?
I am working. I'm just doing coloring stuff. The bumpers, or I call them the bumpers, but yeah, that is what I am doing.
Ah, there you are. Cool. Yeah, I'm just making some adjustments here. Quick.
So grade123 says nice car. Thank you.
We designed it ourselves.
Not gonna buy it. Can't necessarily afford it. But yeah, this is the next best thing, believe it or not, to owning one.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't you say so?
I say so. Get your color adjusted here. Go. All right. Okay, so looking back at these windows, I'm seeing how I'm gonna make those crack. Let's see. Are those included on the side?
Is one included on the what?
Okay, the window is included on the side. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't position them yet, so you might have to do that. And I'm just using pixel values. I'm being so lazy, but yeah.
Okay, I see. So you've got the windows all together in one clip path there, right? Background. Set that. Yeah. Okay. Path. Check that. Okay. Cool. Very nice.
I feel the wheels are going to be the toughest part. They are pretty advanced. Advanced wheels for a modern age.
I like them. I like them.
They're very tactical wheels. Like, I'm sure they made the wheels bulletproof too. That's insane.
Yeah.
So yes, this code pen is collaborative. We're both working on it at the same time. Shaw's working on some of the suspenseful animations, or the air suspension, all that cool stuff, the wheels moving. And I'm just working on the structural bits, the hard, cold pressed steel plated polygon stuff, which is also pretty fun.
Yeah, it's looking really good. That's very nice.
If you saw on the back, we also have some lights. So, and there's some glow to the light as well, which is a little bit weird, because if you go to the side, then you see just this sort of weird, like a planar view. Like it's like, honestly, it's like one of those old games. Like, have you ever played those games where it's just so polygonal, however you want to pronounce that word?
Polygonal.
And oh my God, what did you do?
I'm just breaking things. Don't worry about it.
Okay, great. Yeah, just making sure. We're here to break things, not to fix them.
Is that how you spell ball bearing? B-E-A-R.
Barbarian? Oh, ball bearing.
Ball bearing. Is it? Yeah, okay.
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah. Okay. So,
I really don't know, but let's go with a solid yes.
nice. Okay. Let's do that and that. And then.
Okay, so we have the wheel tread. Oh yeah, so the way I did the wheel tread, it's just, remember that, the nested div trick to make sort of curved things?
Mm-hmm.
Like what we did with the paper pirouette, I basically used that exact same technique, did a little bit of math and calculated how to make it go all the way around. So that's what that is.
Yeah, if you're unfamiliar, this was a episode we did a few weeks back. That's super cool. You should definitely check it out. We did some 3D CSS there as well, and oh, that's loud in my ears.
Loud? Are you adding car sounds?
No, I was showing the video. The code
right.
for it is.
It's supposed to be a quiet car.
There we go. So yeah, nesting CSS transforms to get pseudo rounded edges. It's very, very cool. Worth checking out. All right, so let's see here. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Let's see, we can probably use this as a crack. Yeah, it's worth checking that one out. If you're into that.
I am into that.
All right, I'm gonna get a real rough window crack happening.
Yes. Love window cracks. They're the best part of the demo. You know why that happened, right? They went to explain that hitting it with a sledgehammer first might not have been the smartest idea.
Weakened the glass.
Yeah, it weakened the integrity. So, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I'll buy it. Not the truck. I'll buy the explanation.
Yeah, I'd be curious if they did reverse it, if upon the sledgehammering after, if it would have cracked the glass at that point.
Oops. By the way, when you're doing 3D animation, 3D structuring and stuff like that with CSS, the way you know whether it's, like, for example, 90 degrees or negative 90 degrees, if you're ever confused, the technique is simple. Try one. If it doesn't work, it's the other one. Yes. I've literally not found a better technique than that. So, yeah.
My crack here is not looking great, but I'll try it. Yeah, that's a start. All right. I'm just going to do that. Oh, where'd our code go? All right, so let's go back to Windows.
Oops. See? Should be 90 degrees, not negative 90. There we go. Just getting the side of the truck in there.
Yeah, I'm making the ball bearing and the windows fill that container. So if you click on it, that should, let's see, make sure the ball bearing is on top with the z-index. And it's very large, so let's make that opacity 0. Ball bearing checked. Doesn't seem to be working.
Sorry for the sounds, by the way.
Just some construction.
I guess so, just like the construction we're doing right now.
Yeah, and we won't be able to stream for much longer here, so we'll get it in a nice state, and then maybe finish up some other pieces of it. But yeah, so let's see.
Definitely a monster project.
Yes. Let's take off that opacity. Yeah, so the checking is working. Why is the ball bearing checked? In the chat, so do you guys do random projects? Usually we're doing UI animation. Typically that Paper Pirouette and some of the others. We do more standard fun animation, but most of the time we're doing something like animating between states in an application. But yeah, for now it's just
having
fun.
some fun.
Why is that not work? Oh, it's got to be the adjacent selector. Oh, sorry. There we go. All right, so now using the checkbox hack, so we've got an input, checkbox input with the class of ball bearing. So whenever you click it, it changes the color of the window here. That's, not what we're going for, but we will adjust that. Let's do. All right, so I'm going to make the pseudo element here.
So how are you doing the window crack? That's something that I'm really interested in, because I can't really think about how to do that except, like, I don't know, SVG, something crazy like that.
So I've just got a pseudo element with a clip path.
Oh, clip path.
You know.
Of course. Yes. I am familiar with clip path.
Yeah.
It's quite the tool.
Let's see.
In fact, I'm going to do a little clip path myself. So,
Percent.
0, 100%, 100 pixels, 100%, 0, 100%. That should but almost. So we have to trunk that height. So the heights we could probably make like 100 pixels.
Yeah, thanks for following.
Cool.
Yeah, in the chat, I work in digital advertising, so we do a lot of animation, but it feels different than normal industry standard stuff. I get to see other people work. Need to study back up on the new web standards and libraries that are commonplace now. Yeah, there's so much more out there these days. It feels like we're catching back up to Flash. But yeah, there's a lot of good options out there nowadays. I think most people still struggle a little bit with transitioning between two states. That still seems to be the most difficult aspect. And
or
so
even
that's
realizing that that there could be more than one state that they might need to transition to. So
yeah. So that's what we focus on a lot of times, is trying to help with that. 40%, is that right? 10%. The rotation of the window has top and left backwards for me, so that's messing me up quite a bit.
Yes, yeah, that is a feature. It is also definitely one of those gotchas. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. It's cool. So yeah, this is the crack here. So.
Although I did make everything in intervals of 5 because I am lazy and
Intervals of 5?
Yeah. 5 pixels, yeah.
Ah. Why is that? Oh, I need to set the opacity so they're uncracked by default, and then when you click it, cracks them.
I think if we make it pre-cracked, that would be a cool feature. I'm all about features.
And then you fix it.
Yeah. Yeah, but you charge them to fix it. That's how you get the money.
Yeah.
See, that's business thinking.
Transition, transform.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, let's do a stepped ease there. Steps 4. And I forget the syntax of that. What is this syntax? Steps, number of steps, direction, and yeah.
Aha, that worked. Okay. So let's see, we have the trunk. Yeah, the problem is there's so much CSS that it's a lot of scrolling, a lot of figuring out where to look, and honestly, that's most of my time is just scrolling and being like, where is everything? Because you forget what you name things to.
Yeah.
It becomes a bit of a pain. But I mean, again, just to remind everyone, CSS is really not meant for this.
It's not. It is.
But we do a lot of things that CSS is not really meant for.
Wasn't originally designed for. It's
okay. Yeah, it can be used for such a purpose, but it is not recommended. Except by us. I would wholeheartedly recommend it.
There we go. Step 3. And I'll adjust my clip path a little bit there because that's silly. Yeah, I'm using this cool tool, Clippy, that allows you to make.
Clippy.
Yeah, by Bennett Freely, I think. Helps you create these polygons for clip path in a nice little editor. Wish I had like 1 or 2 more features, but works pretty well. Adding points is the only thing that feels like it's missing. That it might be in there, but
yeah, and maybe one day we could create like a cool little clip path tool. Something I would love to work on is just tools, because tools are fun.
Yeah, let's see. Let's add that clip path in here. This gives us our broken window. Let's see if I can center that a little bit more. And yeah, this is difficult because of all the various rotations and things, trying to get the pieces lined up.
Yeah.
And that is why CSS is not ideal for this, because there's not a great UI for it. Do you remember that, I think it was Tridiv site? Did you ever see that?
No. I do not remember.
It's like a 3D CSS GUI.
Oh yeah, it was the CSS voxel thing, right?
Not really voxel. Like you would, you would make the paths and everything like a 3D modeling tool, like laying out planes and things like that. Pretty cool.
No, I can't say I remember that.
Yeah, it's interesting. 30%.
Just getting rid of some of the coloring here. It's still not anywhere near done, like to my standards, because I love working on all the little details. So
Yeah, it's definitely
But
in
the window
progress.
cracking, that's our main goal here.
You like it? It's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's a bit big, but it's
Well, it can be scaled down.
can it though?
Yes.
Don't think it's possible.
Yes.
One question is, where the heck are the side view mirrors?
I believe it's camera based is what I heard. I don't know.
Which is dangerous because, cameras can fail. And then what do you do? Like, cameras are definitely prone to failure. That's something I've learned with these kinds of cars. So, not sure if I trust that. Not sure if that is a good strategy for them.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for that idea. Plus, like the parallax of it, like that doesn't feel like it would be very natural.
Yeah, no.
All right, so got a basic crack in there. I'm gonna see about doing the suspension for the main body as well. So let's
Okay.
go front. Well, all right. This is probably going to break something, so I don't think we'll have time to mess too much with that.
Right. Oh, my meeting got canceled. We're good.
Oh, nice. Well, I can't go for too much longer here, but
okay, no problem.
let's see. Let's go back down to wheels. And I'll copy the suspension animation from there. We'll do the body animation nearby so that we can adjust them together. In the chat, Waldron, you should get sponsored for a free CyberTruck. Yes.
Yeah, that's the idea. I don't know where I'd put it. I'd probably sell it.
Do you drive, David?
I do drive.
Well,
Yes.
like you own a car.
I am in possession of a car, or 3. No, I'm kidding. Just 1 car. What did I do wrong?
No, I'm breaking things.
Okay, I was like, I added 1 element, and since everything is absolutely, you somehow made the car look better.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold on. I think I know what is happening here.
Okay.
Okay.
Good job.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing I love about, honestly, one of the main reasons that I do all this, position relative and stuff like that is because I've done a lot of crazy animations like this. So, and when you have everything position relative, never mind. I'm not going to go on that rant again. If you want to know more about that rant, I actually talked about it in a podcast.
Oh yeah.
With Chris Coyer. Remember, we were on it, both of us.
Oh yeah. Talking shop.
Yes, shop talking.
Talking shop with Dave.
Talk shopping. Yes.
With Dave and Chris. Yeah, that was a fun episode. We were on Shop Talk with Chris Coyer and Dave Rupert.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, the editor keeps jumping around for me. I'm having trouble finding where I'm at. Are you pasting a bunch of stuff in?
Yeah, sorry about that. In the CSS, that's what I'm doing. So.
Oh, I removed a duration. That's part of the issue. Ah.
Sorry.
Hey, thanks for following, Johnny. Or John. Whoa! Check out that suspension. Enable the animation.
That is very Very truck-like. That is, did you add hydraulics to this truck or something?
Yes, yes.
Oh, man. It's been intense.
Yeah, I'm toning it down, don't worry.
That's awesome. That is so legit. Nope. 10 pixels, 5 pixels. We made it nice and tiny. 5 pixels transparent, 5 pixels transparent. Calc minus 5 pixels. And we also have a little orangey thing. What color is that? Let's find out. Orange. Yeah, the turn signal, which, you know, this truck has a feature for turning. So, gotta add that in. There we go.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
Man, all of your typing keeps throwing me off.
Yep, sorry. Sorry.
No, you're good, you're good.
One technique that I'd like to use too is when you're doing clip path, try not to put it directly on the elements, because then if you're attaching any elements or using pseudo elements or you want some sort of box shadow, those are going to be clipped as well.
Yeah.
So that's why, you know, I like putting them on pseudo elements and things like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that, this is just, you know, just thinking about how it folds together. So playing around with origami really helps, in my opinion, with this.
Yes.
Maybe one day we'll do an origami animation.
Oh, jeez.
People have done that. So
Yeah. It seems like it would work rather well. Our paper pirouette kind of thing is like folding paper.
Yeah. So you could think about that, you know, being pretty much the same way.
Let's turn that down a little bit. All right. Yeah, I think we can bring this to a close when you're at a stopping point.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to keep working on this for sure. Like later today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we're at a good stopping point.
Yeah, let me get a nice angle on this and open up that debug view.
Yeah. Just keep in mind, not complete yet, everyone. But it will be eventually.
Yes. Super cool. Okay, so you're at a good spot.
Yes.
All right. Well, let's keyflect a little bit. All right. We're now moving into Keyflections, a quick review of the techniques used to build this animation. If you have any questions, ask us in the chat or leave a comment. We'll be happy to answer.
Yeah, also, if you have enjoyed watching this so far, struggle with just coming to terms with the Tesla CyberTruck, then you can follow and subscribe here for all of our Tesla thoughts on Twitch or YouTube, or pledge at patreon.com/keyframers, and the links are right below.
That's right. I have some dot suspenders happening here. This is the time of day that the sun comes through the blinds and gives me some nice dots across my face and fun things that I can't close. The blinds are closed. It's just those dots. Anyway, hey, today we've been creating a fun little animation based on the new CyberTruck that is using some 3D CSS and a few fun techniques that we'll just cover part of. David put together the overall truck layout and everything with 3D transforms, and then added this cool little rotator so that we can spin it around and check things out, and then we've gone in and done some cleanup there and added in a few other additional details to it. So yeah, let's talk to us a little bit about how this rotation works.
Oh, the rotation. So this is actually a technique that Shaw used a lot just to make things easier to debug. What we're doing is we have a range element, so an input with a type of range, and we could say, go between -1 and 1, and I put a step of 0.01 just so that we could really get granular and get into nice fine detail. So whatever values come from that, we set that on the document body as a CSS variable. So that's that document.body.style.set property, and then we could use that variable wherever we want. In this case, we're using it for the rotation of the truck. And this is so much easier than directly setting that property within the truck, because we could embed that _RZ value within the rotation and all the other transforms we already have on the truck. So just a really useful utility.
Yes. Yeah, I love this technique, and it can be simplified down a lot too. Like, you can just trigger it on change on the input itself. I want to do a short video on that at some point. But yeah, it's a super cool technique if you're just getting into CSS variables and want to like play around with how useful they can be. This is a great technique to use. Basically, attach that CSS variable to an input and change that within the page, and it makes it so easy to play around with values and get things just right. So yeah, check that technique out. And I did a similar approach for this animation toggle. So up in the top right, enable animation. If you click it, it toggles the animation. So that's just another input that we're watching. So whenever the input is changed, it triggers this set animation toggle function, and then applies a style to the body of this custom property play state, and it toggles that from running to paused. And then in the CSS on our universal selector here, we've got animation play state, and it's using that var play state variable, and that's just set to important so that it overrides, and we don't have to apply this to every single animation on the page, but we can just toggle it in one spot and we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Setting overflow hidden there. Yeah, and related to this, we added a fun little Easter egg, I guess. The windows, if you click them, they crack. That's a very rudimentary crack, but it is there. This is also using that input, a checkbox of a class ball bearing, and then in the CSS, let's go to bearing. We have that input taking up all the same space as the Windows area, so that it's easy to click on and off. And then the crack is actually a pseudo element, this before element right here, with a white background, and then a fancy clip path that I built using Clippy, a really handy tool that you should check out if you're ever messing around with clip paths. And then whenever that ball bearing is checked, we use the adjacent sibling selector to change this pseudo element and animate that in. Yeah,
there's a lot of things going on in this. Not too much animation-wise, more just layout-wise, but the idea is that you could add those animations on top of what we already have.
Yeah, and this is just for fun. Not much you can practically use a 3D CyberTruck in CSS4, but the techniques behind it are really great. the Square site really does this in a great way. So Square, right? Is it? No, Stripe. I'm sorry, Stripe. I forget the developer, one of the main developer behind.
Benjamin? Or no, I think he left, actually. Not too sure.
Well, in one of these pages, I forget which one exactly. I mean, this is a good example. Here's some 3D transforms that just add a lot to the page. There's one page in particular that I'm thinking of that has actual like 3D cubes that are rotating around, and it's just a real low cost. Oh, hey, yeah, here's a simple 3D CSS animation. Yep, it's actually being applied with JavaScript, probably with GSAP or something like that, to rotate it around. But it's a DOM element. All this content and everything is just in the DOM, and that's cool. And this subtle little effect, doesn't need a 3D engine. You don't need to like include 3JS or anything like that, but you get that beautiful effect. And so for something simple like this, that's just a really nice touch you can add to the page. So learning 3D CSS transforms is a great idea because you can add so much to your animations, to your transitions, and then adding those nice little effects in the page as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Hey, thanks for cheering, Dominique. Anything else you wanted to cover while we're in here?
Not yet. Just I'm gonna keep chugging away at this truck and see how detailed we can make it, and then probably this week you'll see a finished version of it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing the final. I probably won't be able to jump in and help you anymore on it, but yeah, it really came together quite nice. And the small little animations, just really bring it to life.
That's what we're all about.
So cool. Well, that's all we've got for you today. You've been watching Keyframers. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to see more from David and I, there are many ways you can support us. You can pledge at patreon.com/keyframers. I haven't mentioned it yet, but if you pledge, get one of these cool gold Keyframer pins that are absolutely awesome. And you can pledge there, and that supports us on a monthly basis. That's awesome. Thank you to all our existing patrons. You can also like and subscribe at youtube.com/keyframers, where we'll have this episode available soon, and all of our past episodes are there as well. Yeah, go ahead.
So, of course, we accept submissions for future episodes, so tweet at Keyframers with any animations you'd like to see made. This was a challenge that I presented, so I was Nerd Sniped. That's what happened. You can also present questions or challenges to us that we're going to try to answer on the air, so please share this video and demo across your social platforms. You are literally the first people to see the first ever 3D CSS Cybertruck. At least it's currently being
that
made.
We're aware of.
I checked CodePen.
Well, yeah. So yeah, look for the code. We'll share the final version and everything later. Yeah, keep an eye out at twitter.com/keyframers. But yeah, that's all for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, adios, amigos.
Adios.